I'll give you a try. If you really bug me, then I'll say goodbye. Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really, really, really wanna say, If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. Make it last forever. Friendship never ends. If you wanna be my lover, you have got to give. Taking is too easy, but that's the way it is. So here's the story from A to Z. You wanna get with me, you gotta listen carefully. We got M in the place who likes it in your face. You got G like MC, who likes it on a easy V, who doesn't come for free. She's the real lady. And as for me, how you'll say, slam your body down and wine it all around. Slam your body down and wine it all around. If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. Make it last forever. Friendship never ends. If you wanna be my lover, you have got to give. Taking is too easy, but that's the way it is. If you wanna be my lover, you gotta make it last forever. Slam your body down and wine it all around. Slam your body down and wine it all around. Slam your body down and wine it all around. Slam your body down and zig ah. If you wanna be my lover.
Zig ah.
Zig zig ah. Do you know what? Okay, question. Which
Shoot.
Spice Girl were you? What are you laughing at?
Wait, which Spice
Everybody
Girl was
was
I?
one.
I guess if I had to choose,
Yeah,
a lot of people did relate me to Scary Spice.
I agree.
Yeah. Why?
Just
Tell me your reason.
No, there's no reason.
그냥 그런
'cause
느낌이 났대요.
You love leopard print?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'll
that's the
do it.
reason. That's
Yeah,
the reason.
That'll
why.
do it.
There you go.
The inner leopard cheetah in me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which Spice Girl were you?
I was a few. I wanted to be Sporty Spice
Oh.
because she was super cool and she had the best voice, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was at children's theatre, I actually played the part of Posh Spice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who played the part of David Beckham?
There was no David Beckham. We were the Space Girls, not the Spice Girls. And I had the Union Jack dress. What are you laughing at?
The grade B version of the Spice Girls. It's the Space
It's the
Girls.
space, because it was a pantomime set in space.
Ah, okay.
It wasn't just like we decided it was the Space Girls.
I thought because you didn't get
Copyright
approval
reasons. No.
because of copyright
No,
issues,
we
right?
were set in space, so it was the Space Girls, not the Spice Girls.
재밌다.
Yeah.
재밌다.
Anyway, which Spice Girl will you? Everybody, text us in. Let us know.
Let us know.
Welcome to the show. It is 6:13 on the clock, Tuesday, the 16th of May. Welcome to Inside Out Busan. I'm Laura McCluckey.
And I'm Insu Shin. Hello and good evening to everybody out there. Thank you so much for joining us. So, starting the show with not the best news that you want to hear, especially if you're like coming from a hard day's work and you're like contemplating, do I really need to do this? Right? Do I really need to do this work or this job?
The question is...
Starting today. Oh, what is the question? Sorry.
No, I was going to say the answer is no.
Well, you might want to rethink that because starting today, South Korea's electricity rates will go up by 8 won per kilowatt hour. So it's estimated to cost a 4-member household around 3,000 won on average per month. Gas bills for cooking and heating will rise as well by 1.04 won per megajoule. So if you live in a 4-member household, it's going to cost you an extra 4,400 won each month.
It's
다
shocking.
올라갑니다.
It's not good,
다
right?
올라가요.
It's pretty shocking. And electricity and gas bills are only the start, right? Public transportation fares, taxi fees, prices of trash bags, rubbish bags. They've either already risen this year or they will rise. So we've got to tighten our belts a little bit more. Let me tell you, my belt is already pretty tight.
그래 말이에요.
And there's a series of more hikes in public utility costs, which are going to take place throughout the year. So, yeah, second half of the year also not looking so good money-wise.
And this is what saddens me the most. Pork prices, 돼지고기요, here in South Korea, has risen almost 20% over the past month due to a surge in demand for the popular meat.
장난 아닙니다.
요즘 4인분이 4인분 아니에요. 네. You order
근데, wait a
4인분 and like you either get like a huge bill that you didn't expect or you get like 3인분 for the usual 4인분 that you get.
Excuse me, sir. This doesn't look like 4인분 to me.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
But you
But
don't
then
say it.
I don't say it
Yeah.
because I
You're
understand
polite.
everything's expensive.
My favorite thing that I saw recently was a menu book, and it said original price 13,000 per blah blah blah. Discount price 13,000 per blah blah blah, and it said we want to give you a discount, but we can't afford to with the rises in inflation.
Yeah.
Sorry, or something like that. And I really, really liked it because it's just being very transparent, very open about, listen,
Yeah.
this is costing us so much more money to make. These ingredients are costing so much. And so everything's going up.
Yeah. Tough times ahead for a
Yeah.
lot of people,
Yep,
right?
Yep. Don't like it. But this uptick in demand is actually mainly driven by an increase in outdoor activities like camping, hiking, spring season setting in. Specifically, 돼지고기 is what I'm talking about.
네.
Because people are going out to barbecue.
Yeah.
Right? 돼지고기가 비싸도 캠핑은 포기 못하죠.
그래 말이에요. So you either have to go camping less, right? Or you got to switch to the other meat.
The other meat.
What is the other meat, you ask?
There's
Well,
so many.
that's up to you.
You know what we should do? GM meat. No, just grown in a lab.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
Remember the burger we saw? The monster burger that they grew?
You mean the mammoth
meatball.
meat?
The meatball.
Yeah, the mammoth meat.
Was that mammoth meat?
Yeah, that was prehistoric mammoth
That
meat.
looked terrifying. Although you mash it up and put it in a hamburger, I would eat it.
Some people will not go near GMO stuff, but I was like, oh, you'd be surprised how much stuff you put into your body.
It's already GMO.
That's GMO, right? Or at least maybe into your, kids' food.
Oh.
But, I mean, these people, yeah, they got to do what they got to do to get through these tough times. So, yeah. We have Lee Kelly님 chiming in saying, instead of Busan spicing things up, obviously remarking on the opening song, Wannabe by... Do we say it was Wannabe by the Spice Girls?
If you want to be mellow. No, everybody knows it already. We didn't have to say
it's
it,
one
you
of
know?
those songs,
Because
right?
we're professional like that. We give our listeners the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, they're all smart, right? He also says, I'm pretty surprised by some vegan meat. It's actually pretty good.
Of course it is.
I don't think I've ever tried vegan meat.
There is a company that I really like, and they're like an artisan vegan meat company, and it's delicious. So delicious.
You know what the trick is for me? I bet you if you, cook it enough that it's crispy, I probably can't tell.
But you wouldn't be able to tell anyway. Honestly, it's that good.
그래요? I gotta try it. I gotta try it for myself.
And if you go to the temple, sometimes they have vegan meat as well.
아, 맞아요. 거기는
And the 외국인s don't know.
쓰더라고요. Well, now you know. Well, let's see what else is in the news with Christine.
Christine's in the studio. It's time for News Bites. Hi, Christine.
Hi.
Hello, Christine. How are we doing today?
I'm doing well.
Oh, there you go. You
Just
put the
getting
headphones,
seated.
right?
Sorry
Headphones
about that.
on.
Without the headphones, our listening and our mouths don't work at all here in the studio. So
No,
you
it's
have to have them
hard.
on. Yeah.
I don't know how people speak without hearing themselves. It must be difficult.
But you've got ears, though.
No, I always need headphones on. Come
I
on.
see,
Yeah.
I see.
It's the ways of the radio. All right, Nora?
Yeah.
All right, news bites. Let's see what we have going on in the country and more. So, what do you have for us?
Let's talk about the Nursing Act. We have been talking about this quite a bit. President Yoon Suk-yeol has rejected it and decided to exercise his veto power for the second time.
Now, I think we talked about, was it yesterday or the day before? The veto comes in support of the strong protest, right, from the doctors and nursing aides against the Nursing Act.
That's right. So the Nursing Act aims to define duties and obligations of nurses to enhance their working environment. But doctors are saying that this could allow nurses to open their own practices. And nurse aides are afraid of discrimination. And during a cabinet meeting at the presidential office today, Yoon spoke about this, saying that the well-being of the people should never be compromised. And he urged the National Assembly to review the legislation once again. Now, the Nursing Act was actually railroaded, which means it was quickly passed through the National Assembly by the main opposition Democratic Party last month. So that has been part of the reason why people have been opposed to it as well.
All right. So that comes, with President Yoon's veto. What else did he say?
Yeah, so he said the Nursing Act is, quote, creating excessive conflict between these related groups, and the move to separate nursing services from medical institutions is causing people to feel anxious about their health. And he also said that people's health comes ahead of anything else like politics, foreign policy, economic policy, and can only properly be maintained with cooperation between different medical professions. And so, this is all because the ruling party and the government agreed to give a recommendation to the president to veto the bill, saying that people's health and lives are taken hostage by the bill.
Okay, so that's President Yoon's, backing of it. What did nurses have to say about the bill?
Well, they're saying that this was an essential way of redefining their work to be more independent and professional service amid a lot of growing medical needs. They're arguing that the act was one of Yoon's campaign promises before he was elected as president last year. And they have also, as we've talked about, said they will take action against President Yoon's decision to veto.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and the saga continues, right? When it comes to just the healthcare industry, especially the workers of the healthcare industry, and President Yoon and his, government. So we're gonna have to see what the next step is in terms of, especially for the nurses and doctors of our country. All right, what's next?
Let's talk about KF-21. It's South Korea's homegrown fighter jet. It passed a provisional combat suitability evaluation earlier this week, which is a key milestone before the initial production phase.
So this is exciting. It's a little bit, I don't know, a little bit of I don't know how I feel about this, but tell us more about this provisional evaluation.
Yeah, so this evaluation scheme, it was introduced to accelerate the overall production process. It allows weapons developers mass production budgets before the prototypes are meeting all of the combat requirements. So this evaluation was made yesterday by the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and apparently this has laid the foundation for this initial mass production plan that will start next year. They had over 200 flight and ground tests on this jet over the past 2 years. It started with the first prototype in April 2021, and there have been 5 more prototypes made since. So it's been a long coming effort from South Korea.
Yeah, I bet they're super excited. Yeah. I wonder how fast it goes.
I'm sure very fast.
That's
Super
a great
fast.
question. I feel like a lot of boys in school know the answers to those questions.
I wonder how
Sonic
fast it goes.
fast?
Yeah.
Right, maybe. What's next?
Let's talk about a 10-year inspection into stock manipulation. So the stock manipulation case involving SG Securities Korea has prompted financial authorities to look into trades over the past decade in a bid to prevent this from happening again.
Oh, okay. So when was this decision made?
So according to sources in the financial sector, the Korea Exchange announced the plans to revise this market monitoring system during a closed-door consultation last week with different parties. A representative from the financial sector said that they're going to review trades from all the past 10 years to look for trends similar to this recent case involving SG Securities Korea, and then extend the manipulation monitoring period from around 100 days currently to over a year. So looking at bigger scope of potential manipulation in selecting shares suspected of unfair trading.
All right. I mean, but I'm sure they were looking at some things that had led up to this point, right?
Yeah, so this goes back to that SG Securities Korea case. We did mention it before. It involves suspect Ra Dok-yeon, who is the head of an unregistered investment consulting firm. He's been arrested, as well as 2 of his close confidants. And this is because the stocks of 8 domestic companies have steadily been rising since April last year, but then suddenly plummeted late last month with mass sell-offs happening at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not that versed when it comes to stocks and finances,
Yeah, me
right? But anything that has to do with stock manipulation, pretty serious stuff, I think. So hopefully they get to the bottom of it, right? We have time for one more bit of news, Christine.
Yeah, a bit of a change in the topics. Do you guys like chocolate milk?
Oh, I love it. Would bathe in it if I can.
Did you have chocolate milk at school growing up?
I think so.
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh.
We had
We
like
had it-
milk with no sugar.
Yeah.
We had it not every lunch, but it came out a couple times. And I remember like kids would like trade it for other stuff.
Yeah,
like chocolate
so
milk. It was
this-
currency.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. I mean, chocolate milk is so good, but it's also not common here in South Korea to have it at school. But in the US, it is. And apparently, chocolate milk, which has long time been a school cafeteria mainstay in the US, will be coming off the menu soon.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
Good.
From a mother's perspective,
But
good.
the memories that I have with
Like
it.
the corners of your mind.
This is the difference between dads and moms.
Come on,
There
I
you
feel
go.
so bad for the kids, right? But
No. You should feel good that they're not going to be getting all that sugar.
It's true.
what then?
Sugar is
Like, what are
concerning.
details of this ban then?
Yeah, so of course they're concerned about the added sugars that children are consuming. And the U.S. Department of Agriculture is not only going to ban chocolate, but also strawberry milk and other kinds of flavored milk.
Monsters.
Yeah. In elementary and middle schools, when they are adopting new standards for their school meals. This has actually divided parents like you guys. So some are saying that we don't need the sugar. Other people are saying that, well, we're going to take away the only milk that they actually like to drink.
But
You
see,
know, it
there's
could
the
That was me.
problem.
That was
Calcium.
me.
That's the problem. There's not that much calcium in milk. Honestly, like it's so processed. There's not that much
Yeah, I
calcium.
mean,
in
okay,
it.
if
Like,
it's
you can
gonna
get
be-
calcium from other things,
It's
like
gonna-
fish or
Yeah,
green.
if it's going to be your kid's only source of calcium, then there might be concerns. But I mean, if it's just like it's like a sprinkle on top for all the kids to finish off their school lunch. It was my dessert.
It's a huge amount of sugar. It's so
Yeah.
bad for them.
Listeners, do your own research and don't listen
Yeah.
to Min-soo. That's just his personal opinion, not
Yeah.
BFM's.
Yeah, exactly. And so the thing is, like, this has obviously divided a lot of people, like us in the studio. What are people saying about it?
Yeah, so actually the dairy industry, as you might expect, as well as many school districts, they're against this.
Who's thinking about the dairy industry? Obviously, nobody here.
Others worry that children already have too much sugar in their diets that leads to, the rising levels in childhood obesity. This is a huge problem also here in South Korea. Flavored skim milk was the top source of added sugars at both school breakfasts and school lunches, according to a 2021 study. So just getting rid of the flavored milk could do a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the proposed guidelines for school meals were made earlier this year. It was held off, marking a recommendation on flavored milk, mostly chocolate milk, but now they're thinking of pushing it through.
Yeah. No, I think we definitely, I say we, because, and this is the sad reality, kids' school meals sometimes makes up the bulk of their nutrition, especially kids who are from families who are financially not in a position to be spending a lot on food and nutrition. So there needs to be a real push for children to get like complete nutrition when they are at school. And sugary milk, no. So
Yeah.
no.
I mean, that's true. And I do understand that, right?
But you love the chocolate milk.
I do love the
Yeah.
chocolate milk, but you also have to think of
We call them school deserts in America, where there are areas that are poor and they just don't have food.
Yeah.
Like they have food, but there's no nutrition in any
Yeah.
of the food they're selling.
That's what I'm saying, right? I'm not saying, don't punish chocolate milk, but this, hopefully it's a step in the direction where they up the quality of other ingredients
Yeah.
of school lunches. Because I grew up on these lunches, right? And
same.
that's why I looked forward to the chocolate milk the most.
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
That
you're
goes to
addicted to
show
sugar?
you. It goes to show you
go.
just, what kind of stuff I grew up
Don't
on.
be like Minsu. That's the overall
All
statement.
right. That'll do it for today's News Bites. Ending out the show with some of the saddest news I heard. I guess for the moment. Christine, thank you so much. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Okay?
Thanks, Christy.
I'll see you tomorrow. Bye,
Bye.
guys.
All right, let's have a song. This is Hello Dolly by Louis Armstrong.
Hello, Dolly. This is Louis. Dolly, it's so nice to have you back where you belong. You looking swell, Dolly. I can tell, Dolly. You still growing, you still growing, you still going strong. I feel the room sway, but the band's playing one of our old favorite songs from way back when. So take a rap, fellas, find her an empty lap, fellas. Dolly, never go away again. I feel the room sway, but the band's playing one of our old favorite songs from way back when. So, golly gee, fellas, have a little faith in me, fellas. Dolly, never go away, promise you never go away. Dolly, never go away again.
Welcome back.
Hi, hi, hi.
Satchmo.
Louis Armstrong, that's me.
That's
Hello,
you?
Dolly. Sorry, I can't.
Welcome
I have
back, everybody.
the phlegm kind of coming up when I do that. Whenever I do that, so
Oh.
I'm gonna stop.
That's TMI.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
It's 6:33. You're tuned into Inside Out Busan. I'm Laura McCluckey.
And I'm Minsu Shin. Good evening to you all, and a
Yes.
happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. We're on the radio waves. We're on YouTube. Go and check us out on YouTube as well. I have 생얼 today, so 미안합니다.
네, excuse the
What do you mean every day? Not every day.
excuse the 생얼.
Excuse the 생얼.
Yeah.
really
We
care.
have 오겹살 좋아요님 saying good evening on our YouTube. Well, good evening to you. 오겹살 좋아요님.
Let's get straight into the weather.
Sure.
Because Haley's in here waiting on us to stop blabbering. It's currently averaging 21 degrees Celsius here in Busan. Morning lows of 18, afternoon highs of 25 tomorrow. According to the KMA, the Korea Meteorological Administration, warm winds from the southwest will cause the heat to continue all the way into Thursday, so do take extra care when you're out and in the sun as well. We won't be able to avoid exposure to strong sun during the day. Our writer is very concerned for you. So 조심하세요. 따뜻한 남서풍이 불면서 때일은 뭐?
네.
오케이.
때일은
때일은 여름 더위가 내일까지 계속되겠습니다. 그래서 여러분 조심하세요.
Did you question yourself or did you question 작가님?
I did. I was just like, why is this a comma and then a 때? 때요. I was confused.
Yeah, you read that correctly. Well, when it comes to our traffic, we have congestion on 황령대로 from 범내골 junction going towards 황령 tunnel. There's also congestion on 충장대로 from 항만 three-way intersection towards 동천 three-way
You say
intersection. 항만.
Oh.
네.
Okay.
Slow-moving traffic on 중앙대로 from 중부 police station going towards 초량 junction. Everybody?
Drive safe.
네.
All right, it's time for the IOB 5분 상식. Yes, it's time for the IOB 5분 상식, getting you in the know. Some of the most trending, useful, and need-to-know words and expressions in the world. 5분만 들으시면 유식해지는 시간이죠.
네, 오늘의 5분 상식은요. 신혼 부부의 자산 관리 비법을 알려드리겠습니다.
Honey, I think it's time to combine our bank accounts because we're married now, and as a married couple, it's really important that we manage our bank accounts jointly.
No way. 요즘 누가 통장을 합쳐요? 통장 is privacy. Managing separate bank accounts is becoming a popular trend, especially amongst married couples.
Honey, 우리는 이제 부부잖아요. To achieve financial success, we have to manage our money together from now on. Honey, show me your bank account, 자기야. 나 사랑하는 거 맞아?
Honey, of course I love you. That's why I married you.
자기야, okay. Then I'll show you just once. But please, don't be alarmed. 자, take a deep breath first. 자, 여기.
자기야! What does it say zero in your? Why does it say zero in your bank account? What is that?
아니 그거 말이지.
내가 당신을 너무 사랑해서지.
What are you talking about? That's ridiculous. Are you out of your mind?
Hear me out, okay? I bought a very expensive diamond ring on your birthday, and we traveled abroad every month. We went to fancy restaurants, cafes, we played golf very often. That's why we're married now.
이거는 무슨 말이야? So you mean you spent all your money on dating?
Yes, because I love you. I'm in love. You see, my bank account is zero. 결혼했으니까 이제 당신이 나 책임져. 알겠지? 그럼 작가님의 생각이 그거죠. 이제 내가 우리 연애 땐 내가 다 썼으니까 이제 결혼했으니까 네가 다 써라.
이거는 무슨 말입니까?
이거 괜찮을 수 있다 for some people.
무슨 crazy라는
괜찮을 수 있다.
소리입니까?
Not for me though. Not for me.
No.
But it could be very beneficial to some.
Well,
okay?
the part of the crazy that I agree with is spending all your money on dating. What kind of crazy is that?
Because they're in love. Couldn't you tell?
Stupid. That's the worst reason, and yet it's
사랑하니까.
the reason many people turn to. But it's a stupid reason. Here we go. I'm going to spend all my money because I love you. I had one friend who would borrow money from his girlfriend so that he could spend money on his girlfriend. If that isn't insanity, I don't know what is.
If that isn't love, I don't know what it is.
God.
I love you so much that I don't have enough money to show you how much I love you.
Well,
So
let
I'm
me
going to borrow
money
some
so I
from
can
you.
buy you shoes
so
for
I
your
can,
birthday.
So I can show you how much I love you, right? Now, it's one of the most frequently asked questions between couples, right? When they're getting married. Should we have a joint bank account or separate bank account?
So here's the thing. I was watching this on Netflix recently, How to Get Rich, and there's a lot of this back and forth, and it can be different depending on the situation for each couple. However, according to recent research, financial experts say that joint accounts can actually have benefits for a couple. It's called 통장 결혼식. Couples tend to raise more money when they have a joint account, or at least for those who are in the first 2 years of marriage. Anyway. And couples who communicate openly about money tend to feel that they're on the same team and not hiding things and secret spending and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right. But these days, more couples, especially like from the M generation, millennials, they're choosing to keep separate accounts, retaining control of their own money. So although managing finances separately has its advantages, what are then some disadvantages?
So when you're managing your finances separately, dual income couples might not hesitate in material luxuries, like as a form of compensation, like buying luxury goods and, 해외 여행, 호캉스, high-end cars. They want to have that compensation psychology. But also it can lead to difficulties in saving or reducing expenses. So they may not prioritize cutting costs on things like dining out or private education or that kind of stuff.
Okay, so then why should married couples then have joint bank accounts?
So the main benefit of a joint bank account is that it's just easier. It just makes your life easier. You can reduce time, cost, hassle of paying bills by sharing everything from the one place, like mortgages, payments on your car, groceries, utilities, etc. And you can save towards shared goals like a new home, vacation. Also, no duplicate costs, or you'll be able to see duplicate costs and just eliminate those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And there's pluses and minuses, right? Advantages and disadvantages. I think like situation might differ too, right? Stuff in your name and maybe stuff in the other person's name, even doing that, right? As for me, I don't know if this is TMI, but we're very transparent, right, when it comes to with the money. But because we have stuff in like our names and it has to come from an account under our name, we do still have our own accounts, right? So that's how I go about it. But I think honesty and transparency, I think, is most important.
I don't think I can have. Can I have a joint bank account with my husband? I'm 외국인. Every time I go to the bank, they say, 불가능합니다. 안 돼요. 외국인이니까.
A니, but because your husband is Korean.
Yeah, but
right?
there's a lot of restrictions.
I hear 핑계.
By the way, they don't do
I
that
hear
to me.
excuses.
I go to a branch here in Centum, and they are so kind, by the way. So anyone who wants to use this particular bank in Centum,
네.
do it. They're so nice.
우리 토끼님이요. LOL. 우리 부부 신혼 때를 보는 듯.
Yes, indeed.
토끼님 힘들었나요? Right?
진짜 화가
Getting
날 거야.
flashbacks. PTSD maybe?
헐. 헐.
No. All right. 오늘의 5분 상식. Should married couples have joint or separate bank accounts? 경제 전문가들에 따르면 통장을 하나로 합치는 것이 이중 지출을 줄이고 저축, 소비, 할부 등 효율적인 자산 관리를 할 수 있다고 합니다. 오늘의 5분 상식이었습니다. 김대리, 퇴근하나?
예, 부장님.
집이 교회종이지? 같은 방향인데 같이 가지? 요즘 회사 생활 어떤가?
예, 저 열심히 잘하고 있습니다.
결혼 생활도 재밌지?
예, 뭐 즐겁죠, 예. 그 라디오라도 좀.
오, 그래, 라디오.
네가 저번 주에 심참인 것 같네.
22번 훈련병!
진짜 회사 생활 쉽지 않다. 어색한 이 순간 인사이드 아웃 부산과 함께하세요. 오늘은
Issue unboxing.
Welcome back, everybody. Haley's in the studio. It's time for issue unboxing.
Hello.
Hi, Haley.
Happy Tuesday.
How are you?
I'm good. It's so nice out.
Yeah.
I lathered on some sunscreen though.
Did you?
I listened to 작가님.
I didn't do anything.
No sunscreen?
No sunscreen.
Laura.
You can see that I am.
That's why you're itching your shoulder because you're
crazy
sunburned.
burnt. No, I was burnt from 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yet you don't learn.
She had this
I
gnarly
was wearing
farmer's
a-
tan
Yeah.
in the beginning.
I was wearing my jacket like this all day anyway. I wasn't actually wearing this. I was wearing a different jacket.
Just to cover your shoulders?
And I was no, I had it across, and I was inside. So
You should get those sleeves that people wear.
Oh, the 토시 팔토시. Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
The ones that go up to your like shoulder.
ones that
Yeah.
have fake tattoos on them as well.
Oh,
my
yeah,
gosh.
those ones.
No
Like a
one was
sleeve
with you.
tattoo. Good.
Yeah.
Great tips. Great tips.
Things
Yeah.
to keep in mind. Well, issue unboxing, Haley. What issue will we be unboxing today?
Well, we will be talking about tips, but a different kind, a monetary one, making it rain. So, well, you're from Scotland. Do they tip in Scotland?
Yes,
Oh,
They do.
like almost mandatorily?
they do. I would say, yeah, most people would say it's pretty mandatory to give a tip at a restaurant.
Interesting. So when we say tip, it's almost synonymous with the United States,
Yeah.
the land of tipping. And this basically, I mean,
theoretically it's optional, but it's mandatory, really, is it not? It's a source of stress for many.
Social law, as they call it.
Yeah.
Right?
And this is a law where you break it, you don't go to jail, but you go to social jail. You
Yeah.
get shunned.
You're
the cheapo.
You get the
Yeah.
You get the evil eye.
You're the cheap person who left the 10% tip as opposed to it's 20 nowadays. It keeps evolving.
Why does it keep going up? And the thing is, I understand that servers need to be making a wage, and a lot of them are not making any money except for tips. But in those places, I think you should tip more. But then do I? I don't know.
Yeah, well, let's get to why I brought this up.
Yeah.
Because latest entity, not person, asking for a tip, machines.
What?
Self-checkout machines, those kiosks. So imagine you go to a cafe and they have a big, nice little screen kiosk. You punch in, I get a tall latte, extra shot, hot takeout. And then they say, would you like to tip? And I'm like,
No,
who?
never.
Tip
You?
who? Yeah.
Yeah. Whom am I tipping? Who am I tipping? Anyways, whom I think. So
To
I mean,
whom will
to
this tip
whom?
be attributed?
Yes, thank you. So restaurants, taxis. I mean, the list of tips continues. You have to tip your servers, people who actually serve you. Taxis, ride services, hairstylists, as masseuse, your doorman and apartment staff. It is customary to tip them during the holidays. But
Yeah.
then, why am I tipping my? Well, not even a kiosk.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
insanity.
It is insanity.
Would you like to tip this machine? Yeah, let me go home and tip my laptop, and then do you know what? I'm going to tip my phone as well. Thanks, you guys.
I mean, we do overwork them.
I don't know why, but I'm
Yeah.
getting angry at this.
People are
You
angry.
may as well
Tipping a
tip the
kiosk?
microphone.
So let's channel the anger to the no tipping side. Tipping has gotten absurd. So yes, you tip a human for providing a service. The self-checkout is, well, number one, not a human. Number two, did not provide you with a service.
It was just it's a machine. I had to do it myself. You should tip me.
You're a
That's
thing of
the-
plastic.
yeah, that's
plastic and
the
wires,
argument.
right? Because you look at people that do provide you the service. You're like, you look at them. They're probably like a son or a daughter. They probably have a family at home.
Right.
You're more willing to tip, but then you look at a machine. You're just plastic and wires.
Yeah.
All you see
So
is
customers legitimately are questioning, well, where is this tip going?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
I mean, are they going to divvy it up equally amongst the baristas, whom I'm assuming are actually making my coffee, or is that going into the owner's pocket? Because the person I don't want to tip is the giant corporation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to be quoting this guy a lot, Professor William Michael Lin, who is the consumer behavior and tip culture professor. This is a discipline that requires its own professor at Cornell University. Well, he told one newspaper that businesses are taking advantages of an opportunity. And yeah, people are asking, well, who wouldn't want to get a little bit more money if they could? So they're just basically throwing that would you like to tip option everywhere. And people do feel that tipping has gotten excessive. According to AP, some businesses are asking for up to a 30% tip.
What?
30%.
What?
So if I'm
30%?
getting what am I getting for 만 원 in the States? If I'm getting a lunch, now that goes up to 13,000원.
13,000원이 무슨 말?
Also, these tip solicitations are getting more overt. So you're really getting pressure to
Brazen.
tip. Brazen. It is in your face. So
Very Scottish.
for
right?
yeah.
Goodness.
It's the tip argument is pulling the Scottish out of her.
Exactly.
So back in my day, I mean, by the way, I worked as a server for I think 7+ years
Yeah.
to get myself through high school and college. I mean, I didn't get myself through, but to get some pocket money. Sure. And during, I worked at a mostly takeout place. We had a tip jar, right?
Yeah.
And it was just kind of there behind the cash register, so I couldn't really see it, and people could put in money or not. That was fine. Well, these days, this is the age of pads, those tablet PCs, and people, you put your card in, and the tablet PC tells you, would you like to tip 10%, 20%, 30%? And there's that server smiling at you, looking at you, making eye contact with you,
Seeing which button you press.
giving you all
right?
that pudam of, look how sweet I am. Look how, yeah, oh, thank you. That's, yeah. So if you're on NotTube, I'm like right in your face. Yeah, look how cute I am. Look how nice I was to you. I even asked you how your day was.
And their smile changes when you wave
like
your
this.
finger
Yeah,
around. Like
yeah.
if you're at like the 10% button, near the 10% button, your smile kind of turns into a frown. But then the like 20, 25, like the
I
bigger
hope you have a
smile
great
gets, right?
day. Come again.
That Haley, that
my
waitress Haley,
입꼬리
always
is like
always
reaching my
smiling.
ears. Yeah, so happy. My cheekbones, my cheeks hurt from smiling. I mean, I'm saying this is what happens. We're
Yes.
human. Yes.
But kiosks, come on.
Yeah. Right. Right. So, and this is a systemic issue. This is a systematic issue because restaurants impose tips so they can pay the servers under the minimum wage.
Which is just so wrong.
Which is so wrong. So, by the way, in the United States, the federal, so the national minimum wage is in the $7 range. But then when you thought the word minimum marked the minimum, there's one lower. There's a base wage, which is $2.13.
That is living in
Goodness.
poverty.
Yeah.
That is
that
living in
is-
poverty. You
that's-
can't buy anything.
It's not a living wage.
Yeah, so, I mean, easy answer. Just pay your workers at least the minimum wage, if not the living wage.
And the thing that's really sucky about it is that they have to work doubly hard to get those tips. See, do you know what I love about Korea? Is that your server can be in such a bad mood. Sometimes servers are super kind, super lovely. In fact, most of the time, they're pretty polite. But sometimes if you're in a really, really, really bad mood, you don't have to be nice to get tips. You just be like, kimchi,
Yeah.
take it.
And then also, speaking of, sucky parts, tipping is also very sexist. Let's take a listen to Professor Lin again.
But, as Anu hints in her question, there are other things that are really troubling about the way tipping works in the real world.
I found that waitresses who rated themselves as more attractive got better tips. Blonde waitresses got better tips than brunettes. Slender waitresses got better tips. And waitresses with larger breasts got larger tips.
Oh,
Yeah,
America.
that's depressing.
America.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say
But-
it, so I'm quoting him.
It is what
Yeah.
it is. I think that's just a very unfortunate fact.
So
That
yeah,
happens.
reflecting every ugly aspect of a culture,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
seems. But we're here to debate, unbox issues. So let's go to the other side.
Yeah.
To tip. I mean, we need to. It's like a don't kill the messenger thing. I am categorically on principle against tipping, but am I not going to tip my server? Absolutely not. I am going to tip. So history of tipping in the United States, actually in the 18th, 19th century, it was considered so bougie. It was considered very bourgeois, very, you're throwing your money willy-nilly.
Well, here you go. This
Yeah,
is a
here you
tip
go.
for
I'm
the
so rich. I'm
evening.
swimming in money. Yeah.
I don't need this. Tick, 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 tick.
Right. So because Americans back then thought themselves as above that. They're a democratic nation. They're not aristocratic. They fought a war to get out from under that. I say bring that spirit back. Also, some states even tried to abolish tipping legally, but that didn't really work out. So, but the thing is, here's an economic argument. Tipping isn't bad for customers. It actually could be good for customers.
Yeah.
Why?
And then I do.
Because we
understand
go
that point.
back to the, to the evil overlords of restaurants. They're now allowed to pay their wait staff under the minimum wage. Then, because they're paying their servers less, they can manage to sell food for less.
But are they going to do that though?
And well, yeah, I mean that's
If they're happy
yeah.
to pay their servers less, I'm sure they're not particularly going to be like, hey, do you know what? We're being stingy for these hardworking young people. But you know what we'll do? We'll give the savings to the customer.
I mean, but then though, if they're in a competitive market, it might push them. So that's one economic argument. And tipping is very, very much cultural. So according to Professor Michael Lin, again, countries whose populations are more outgoing and extroverted, they do tend to tip a greater number of service providers and tip larger amounts. And the U.S. is nothing if not social and extroverted and outgoing.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it just might be their nature. Yeah.
Me living in America, this is something that I was just got used to, obviously, right? It's part of my life, part of, going out, having dinner or drinks. And then coming here to Korea, I was just blown away.
Right?
I just love the fact that I didn't have to tip.
Yeah.
And now it's a burden when I do go back and visit.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like,
But then sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes I do like a server was so nice to me, someone was so sweet. I do kind of wish there was, I don't, but there was like a system where it was socially acceptable to tip, that it wouldn't seem weird. That because someone's just sometimes so nice to you.
You can tell them. You can say, I wish I was able to tip you because I really
but
enjoyed
I'm so materialistic. Words mean nothing.
But I always, whenever I go to this restaurant in Centum, I always go to the manager on duty and I tell them the name of the staff member who served me if they did a really nice job.
Yeah, so I mean, there we go. Tips don't have to be monetary. It can be nice words or
like
leaving
a kind
a note.
word,
Yeah,
right? Encouragement,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
So before we go, rapid fire. So
Okay.
yes or no, would you tip for takeout food?
No.
No.
Unless it's a rainy day.
For coffee to go?
No.
No.
Okay, for self-checkout?
No.
no, definitely no. You know what? Then out of those three, if I had to choose one, takeout food, I think I would.
I mean, I would pay the cook. I mean, I would tip the
배달.
cooks. Yeah, 배달.
If I
배달 for
take
sure.
out food, I'm staying at home. I like immediately didn't even realize
That's
that
delivery,
you can go
right?
to a place.
Like,
yeah,
if I'm
Laura
getting
was
it to
like,
go.
I'm not leaving home.
I'm going
restaurants.
outside.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Interesting. Yeah, this is a big issue, an ongoing issue, something that totally throws just everybody, like from Korea, if you go to like Europe, or America, it just throws you off, this tipping
absolutely.
thing. But do keep it in mind. Haley, thank you so much. We'll see you back here next week, okay?
Issue unboxed.
Bye.
All right, this is Ariana Grande with 7 Rings, and we will see you at 7 o'clock with the second part of Inside Out Busan.
Diamonds, ATM machines. Buy myself all of my favorite things. Been through some bad, I should be a savage. Who would've thought it turned me to a savage? Rather be tied up with calls and not strings. Write my own checks like I write what I sing. Yeah. My wrist, stop watching. My neck is flossy. Make big deposits. My gloss is chopping. You like my hair? Gee, thanks. Just bought it. I see it. I like it. I want it. I got it. Yeah. I want it. I got it. 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 Yeah. You like my hair? Gee, thanks. Just bought it. I see it. I like it. I want it. I got it. Yeah. Wearing no ring, but ain't gon' meet no misses. But matching diamonds for 6 of my. I'd rather spoil all my friends with my riches. Think we tell therapy my no addiction. Whoever said money can solve your problems must not have had enough money to solve them. They say which one, I say nah, I want all them. Happiness is the same price as red bottoms. My smile is beaming, my skin is gleaming. The way it shine, I know you've seen it. I bought a crib just for the closet, both his and hers. I want it, I got it. Yeah, I want it, I got it. 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 You like my hair? Gee, thanks. Just bought it. I see it, I like it. I want it, I got it. My receipts be looking like phone numbers. If it ain't money, then wrong number. Black card is my business.
지그재그로 움직인대.
누가?
척추라인에 맞춰서 움직인대.
누가?
누구긴 누가 엔모션 프로지. 척추를 지그재그로 틀어 꾹꾹 눌러주는 움직임. 누가의 시그니처 모션. 누가 베스트 엔모션 프로. 가까운 누가페에서 만나요. 의료기기 광고입니다.
Hello, this is Busan Immigration Office. Have you heard of Korea Immigration and Integration Program?
What is the KIIP?
The Korea Immigration and Integration Program, KIIP, is a social integration training program by the Ministry of Justice to help immigrants adjust to life in South Korean society. It helps them develop basic knowledge of the Korean culture, language, and understanding Korean society, among others.
Ah, so is this a Korean language education for foreign nationals?
The KIIP is comprised of not only Korean language and cultural education, but also of programs on understanding Korean society. Immigrants can learn basic knowledge across the entire Korean society through this program.
That's interesting. Are there any other bonuses to completing the KIIP?
There are multiple benefits for those who complete the program, including exemptions from permanent or citizen naturalization tests and bonus points for residence permits.
Well, I'd better hurry up and go sign up. Thanks for the information.
For details, please visit www.socinet.go.kr. This was brought to you by Busan Immigration Office and BFM 부산영어방송.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
꼬리에 꼬리를 무는 품격 있는 토크. 시끄러워 죄송합니다. 로라 민수의 인싸의학 부산.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on the airwaves or on the YouTube. Go and search for BEFM or 부산영어방송. You're here for Inside Out Busan. I'm Laura McCluckey.
And I'm Min-Soo Shin. Thank you so much. This is our number 2 of Inside Out Busan. If you hung out with us for the first hour, thank you. Stick around. We got lots more.
Yeah, we do. I have to put my jacket on. I'm a little bit chilly.
왔다 갔다. 하네.
왔다 갔다. 맞아.
네. 아마 좀 있으면 다시 벗을 것 같아요.
그렇죠. 맞습니다.
Make up your mind.
We're getting to that age, you know?
Speak for yourself.
Anywho, it's time for On the Mic. This is where our reporters head out into the world and interview you, our citizens. So let's see who's on the mic today.
올리비아입니다. 오늘은 부산에 신발을 배우러 왔다가 아예 그냥 눌러서 살고 있는 분을 제가 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 대표님 안녕하세요.
네, 안녕하세요. 앞서 말씀 주신 것처럼 부산에 신발 배우러 왔다가 지금 현재 광안리에 정착해 있는 대표 이창섭입니다. 반갑습니다.
신발을 배우러 오셨다고 했잖아요. 부산에요.
신발을 많이 좋아했던 것 같아요. 어릴 때 기억은 뭐 용돈 받으면 사갖고 오니까 아빠가 막 신발 사오지 말라고 막 잘라버리고 막 이랬던 기억도 있고 그 정도로 신발을 좋아했던 것 같아요. 그래서 이제 조금 더 공부를 해보고 싶어서 이제 찾다 보니까 경남정보대학교에 국내 유일무이 신발 패션 산업과가 있어서 진학을 하려고 이제 왔었죠. 20살 때.
근데 뭐 하는 것과 진짜로 공부를 해서 그 업에 뛰어드는 것과는 많이 달랐을 것 같아요.
근데 신발이 만들어지기까지의 공정이 자동차가 만들어지는 공정보다 더 많을 정도로 수많은 공정을 통해서 신발이 많아지기 때문에 말씀 주신 것처럼 배울 거는 엄청 많았는데 좋아하는 거를 하다 보니까 공부할 때 스트레스를 조금 덜 받으면서 공부를 했다 보니까 어느새 세월이 이제 지나가면서 몸에 좀 배게 된 케이스지 않을까 좀 싶습니다.
정말 신발 하나 때문에 부산을 찾으신 거네요?
그전에는 부산은 와보지도 못했고 충청도 저기 시골 쪽에 살다가 온 사람이라서 사실 부산에 온 거 없죠. 저희 아버지는 맨 처음에 신발 하는 걸 반대를 했기 때문에 다른 이제 분들은 신발을 좀 이렇게 하고 싶다라고 했을 때 7, 80년도 뭐 6, 70년도만 해도 신발이 부산의 메카였기 때문에 부산으로 가야 되지 않을까 뭐 그런 얘기를 많이 들었었어요. 부산이기 때문에 온 게 아니라 신발 때문에 왔는데 그게 부산이었던 거죠.
개인적으로 이런 분은 지방세를 안 내야 된다고 생각합니다. 그렇지 않나요?
아 그렇게만 해주시면
그쵸?
정말 감사드리죠. 부산시 신발 홍보하기 위해서 엄청 열심히 하고 있습니다. 작년인가 시장님과의 무슨 토크 콘서트 이런 게 있었어서 기회가 돼서 가서 한번 앉아가지고 들은 적이 있었는데 한번 말을 했으면 좋았는데 못했네요.
딱 대표님이 내 손으로 만든 첫 번째 신발을 봤을 때 어떤 기분이었을까?
생각보다 쉽다? 너무 어려울 줄 알았는데 생각보다 쉽다. 물론 형편없지만 재봉할 때도 막 삐뚤빼뚤하고 그랬지만 패턴을 낸다든지 만들어서 이제 하는 것 자체가 알고 나니까 재밌고 싶더라. 그다음에 이 신발에 관해서 구조나 이런 것들을 배우는 게 재밌어서 시작했다면 지금은 사실 밥 벌어 먹여 죽고 있으니까 이제 헤어나올 수가 없죠. 이걸로 먹고 살아야 되니까. 진짜 재밌으니까 뭐 하는 일에 업무 만족도는 엄청 높은 편입니다.
그럼 언제 가장 좋아요?
처음에는 신발 디자인하고 이제 만들 때 내가 생각한 디자인대로 그대로 100% 구현이 돼서 나오는 거를 목표로 움직이고 있는데 이제 정확하게 구현이 될 때가 사실 기분이 제일 좋은데 지금은 이제 더 나아가서 그걸 고객들이 좋아해 주실 때가 가장 좋죠. 저만 원하는 신발 만드는 게 아니다 보니까. 근데 사실 처음에 시작을 했을 때는 제가 생각하는 그런 정체성이나 아이덴티티를 조금 더 살려서 이제 시장에서 더 살아남아야겠다라는 포커스를 두고 많이 움직였었는데 사실 아이템이란 게 다 잘 될 수가 없기 때문에 자신감이나 이런 게 낮아지면서 위축되면서 조금 디자인을 과감하게 못하게 되는 상황이었거든요. 얼마 전까지. 근데 일본 쪽에서 디자인으로서 너무 좋다라고 이런 피드백이 오면서 더 원래 하고 싶은 대로 해야겠다 이런 생각이 들어요.
네, 여기가 지금 8층 높이에 있는 곳인데 눈 앞에는 광안리가 딱 보이고요. 그리고 저희 여러분 보신 것처럼 뒤쪽에는 신발들이 있어요. 정말 가장 부산스러운 공간이 바로 여기가 아닐까라는 생각이 듭니다.
네, 이 건물 자체가 횟집 건물이거든요. 여기 다 회센터밖에 없어요. 진짜 부산 딱 부산다운.
앞으로의 계획이 너무 궁금해요. 저는 아까 일본에서 반응이 왔다고 해서 해외 진출에 대한 부분 듣고 싶어요.
일본 쪽에서 디자인이나 이런 것들에 대해서 좀 많은 좋은 평가를 해주셔서 올해 상반기 때 수출을 시작하게 됐고.
우와, 이거 잘 된 거 아니에요?
네.
우와.
일본 전역에 저희 제품 오프라인으로 다 만나보실 수 있어요. 또 요새 하늘길이 많이 열려서 여행들 많이 가시니까 뭐 저희 제품 보시면 하나 사주세요.
네. 마지막으로 저희 BFM 부산 영어방송 듣고 있는 청취자분들 한마디 부탁드릴게요.
앞으로 좀 더 열심히 해서 부산의 신발로 더욱 성장할 수 있도록 부산 신발 산업이 부활할 수 있도록 더 열심히 노력할 테니까 이렇게 저희 브랜드도 한번 검색해봐 주시고 저희의 행보를 한번 뒤에서 좀 잘 봐주시기 바랍니다. 감사합니다.
네.
화이팅!
Yes, welcome back. Fighting!
Fighting indeed.
I love
Thank you so
Olivia.
much.
She's so excited, and I think she's been hanging out with Andrew. 안녕하세요, 올리비아입니다. Olivia, don't hang out with Andrew.
Our reporter Olivia speaking with Mr. Lee Chang-seop today, who runs his own shoe company here in Busan, right? Now, he's not originally from our city. He mentioned from Chungcheong province, but I think he couldn't have picked a better place to
맞아요.
start a shoe company.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
옛날에.
맞아요. 나 때 말이야. 아니, 저 때 진짜 아니에요. 저 그 정도 나이 안 되는데, right? But 옛날에, as Laura said, Busan was considered the shoe mecca.
Yeah.
The mecca of the shoe industry here in Korea.
Not
right?
just Korea and Asia, I think. We were,
Yeah,
like,
probably
really
a
big.
player, right? You know those like the rubber shoes that you see in like those old like 한국 드라마, right? 고무신 거의 다 여기서 만들었어요.
맞아요.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think just with that kind of history and background that Busan has, I'm sure he gets a lot of energy just from that fact.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was, I mean, he spoke very passionately about shoes. I also love shoes, so I understand why he's very passionate. But he says that just making the process of making the shoes, it's really interesting. He says it's like car manufacturing.
Yeah. Right?
I can imagine it would be.
You could tell like the quality of his shoes is pretty good because if he himself makes them, right? You could maybe I think you could imagine like the style of shoes that he makes. But to have that focus and that passion and dedication to go into each and every one of his shoes, like you get your money's worth, right? If you're a customer of his, right? He mentioned like when he saw the first shoe that he made, right? What a feeling that must be.
What a feeling.
Right? So he mentioned he designs and produces his own shoes, and he receives a lot of positive feedback, right, from his customers. Right? And this gives him more and more confidence in his work.
Of course. And so something very exciting as well, he said from the first half of this year, his shoe brand will actually be available for purchase all throughout Japan. And in the future, he wants to revive the shoe industry in Busan because, of course, the shoe industry in Busan has, you know, not been 살아있네 as it used to be in its heyday. So he wants to bring it back.
Yeah. Hopefully this is like he's like the catalyst, right, for this. Looking forward to all, right, the good things that you'll bring, Mr. Lee Chang-seop. Thank you so much. That'll do it for today's On the Mic.
Yeah. All right, let's have a little song and then we'll come back with the weather. This is Michael Bolton, Lean on Me.
So
understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can carry on, right up the road, I'll share your load. If you just call me, call me, call me, call me, call me. If you need a friend, call me, call me, call me. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody, somebody to lean on. Oh yeah. Can lean on me. Can lean on me. If you need a friend, call me, call me. You can lean on me. Lean on, lean on, lean on me, lean on me, lean on me.
I do love a bit of Michael Bolton.
Michael Bolton. I think I mentioned to you.
This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow. Remember?
맞아, 같이 봤지. But I've always gotten, I think I told you before, I always got him and Michael McDonald confused.
Michael McDonald. Who's Michael McDonald?
They have very similar voices.
This is the tale of Tony Montana.
Michael Bolton, everybody. And it's an inside joke. You have to just look up Michael Bolton.
Michael Bolton, Lonely Island. Life is a box of chocolates, and my name is Forrest Gump. 7:14 on the clock. Welcome back to the show, Tuesday, the 16th of May. I'm Laura McCluckey.
And I'm Minsu Shin.
진짜?
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
맞아요. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello.
Hello.
What's the weather looking like outside?
Well, let me just read it to you. The mercury level, aka the temperature, is currently averaging 21 degrees Celsius here in Busan. Morning lows of 18 degrees tomorrow morning. Afternoon highs of 25 degrees. Tomorrow will be the hottest day of the year so far, as the temperature will rise more than it did today. And it looks to be another UV rays and ozone action day as well. So take action against that action and slather yourself with sun cream and drink lots of water and stay out of the sun.
Yes.
내일은 오늘보다 기온이 더 올라올 들어 가장 덥겠습니다.
Yeah.
조심.
You don't want freckles like me.
Freckles are super cute. Why?
Well, if they're the natural kind, yeah. But this ain't natural. It's because of all the years under the California sun of me not putting on sunscreen. Right?
Hey there, I'm a legal aid. Erin Brockovich is my name.
아이고 참나. Onto our traffic.
Please.
Yes, congestion on 거제대로 from Nammungu Junction towards Gyodae three-way intersection. There's also congestion on Byeonglo from Munyeon Tunnel going towards Gwangan Tunnel. Slow-moving traffic on Yeonsu로 from the Shinli three-way intersection going towards Mangmi Pass. And we unfortunately have a report of an accident on Gwajonglo from Yeonsan Paldong Community Security Center towards Gwajang Junction. There's a 3-car collision. 그래서 everybody
Drive safe.
네. Let's get to a couple messages that came in.
Yeah.
We had a message coming in from Super Party Pooper님.
Super Pooper.
Super Party Pooper님. Sup. Good to see you guys again. Well, sup to you, Super Party Pooper님. Don't be a super party pooper.
Yeah. We've also got Insu님 texting and saying, "Hi, Minsu and Laura.
Hi.
5분 상식 is a helpful tip to me. Heart. Thanks. You're
Our
welcome.
pleasure. You're welcome. On behalf of Im 작가님, you're welcome too.
You are welcome.
Because she provides us
She
with the
wrote
script.
it. Yeah, we just acted it out, but she
We
wrote
make it come into fruition.
Really?
We make
Come
it
into fruition?
Yeah. We make it into reality.
Yeah.
Her ideas.
We plump up those plums.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly.
From raisins to plums.
That's exactly what we do. This analogy is kind of getting deep.
Yeah.
Right? So deep.
Yes, it is. TWSS.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's time for us to move along with the show immediately, 7:16, which means it's time for, oh no, it's an even bigger 개구쟁이 than us. Yes, time for 인싸의학 with 닥터류.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. I'm Dr. Ryu.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요.
I'm a doctor, certified doctor. I'm a neurologist. And let's do UV. Protect your UV, okay?
Protect yourself from UV.
Protect yourself from UV, not
UV.
Oh, UV.
UV protection.
Oh, we all need a little bit of that.
Do you know what? I love that at the beginning of the segment, you say, I'm a certified doctor.
Because they need to
people,
know.
People will not believe you.
They
if you
need
don't
to
say
know.
it.
Dr. Liu, and we do
I'm a
this to
certified
protect
doctor.
your identity and the image that you have, right? He is a certified doctor.
But-
he can treat you. He can provide you prescriptions to medicine,
Yeah.
right? So a certified
Yeah,
doctor.
he's a certified doctor. And also, he is just a lover of life and all things fun and Harry Potter and 아재 개그.
Yes.
So that's why he's, having all the fun.
Are we making his dating video for him or something?
Yeah,
His
I don't know.
profile,
It's
right?
weird, right? Dr. Liu, how are you?
안녕하세요. 정말 it couldn't be better because I'm really, really excited. And then the weather is perfect and the nice is, the environment is circumstances very perfect. It's a month of family, May.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Oh my gosh.
날씨 좋죠.
날씨도 좋고, 예. 봄 타죠. I'm riding, 봄 탄다, riding
봄
spree.
탄다.
네.
Okay.
나 말 타고 싶어요.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Liu, because we do have to
Actually do the segment.
Just do the segment. But I mean, do we give you the opportunity for the 아재 개그 today?
맞아. 아재 개그. Actually, it's a little bit arbitrarily because I made this up, so I don't know whether it makes sense or not. But
Okay.
We'll be the judge of that.
Okay, what is the guy who is into urination?
Urination?
Pee-pee man.
A guy who's into urination?
I don't know.
Is it English or Korean?
It's English.
Oh.
Pee-wee Herman?
P.
I don't know, doctor. Who is he?
Peanuts.
두둥. Well, you get a little. in the
아 근데
end.
이게 nuts란 말이 여러분들.
No.
이게
no.
오케이.
Yeah.
오케이 끝.
I think.
이게
Let's leave
견과류를 많이 먹으면은 건강해집니다.
맞습니다.
Okay, that's where you
그런
want to
말이
get at.
맞습니다.
Yes.
그건 좋았어요.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll leave it up to the rest to their imagination.
Yeah.
But are we going to focus? Is the joke related to our segment today?
맞아요. Speaking of urination, I picked it up this topic because last night when I was scanning through a lot of health related news articles, and then something caught my eyes, which was about peeing, which is about urination, especially while standing up to pee is one of the gifts granted for guys. It's granted to guys, but it's quick and easy, but it's a little bit unhealthy. Not healthy. Well, yeah, it's a little bit unhealthy.
You know what? I've actually heard a couple of people with that idea, and they began their argument with, it's not healthy to urinate while standing up for guys. But I don't remember the specifics, and I'm really curious as to hear from a doctor's perspective because with your knowledge and your background.
Okay. If you
Before we get into that, sorry, can I just read a couple of messages? Wheeler Karma님, hello, Bobby Brown 선생님.
어떻게? So Dr. Liu anyways, Bobby Brown.
혜연팍님 says, Dr. Liu v nuts 하트. Wheeler Karma님, nerd와 비슷한 말인가요?
nerd.
개구쟁이?
너드는 저하고 좀 반대인데요. It's the opposite of my characteristics. 너드는 완전히 범생이죠.
근데 nerd is a good meaning.
Meaning, yes. 하지만 nut은 여러분 좀 조심해서 사용해야 돼요. 그게 아주 약간 나쁜 말로 사용할 수 있거든요.
No.
It drives me up the wall. It drives me
nuts.
Yeah,
drives me crazy.
나를 완전 미치게 버린다. 이거 영어 표현으로 많이 쓰이거든요.
네.
영화에서 아주 중요한 표현이니까 알아두시면 정말 좋을 것 같아요.
네.
예, 또 다른 것도 있는데 이것은 조금 안 할 거예요.
예.
So, if you see, if you peeing sitting down, don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed of yourself because in a survey done in Japan, it was done in 2007, about whopping 50% of Japanese husbands say that they pee sitting down at home.
It's just comfortable, you know?
Specifically at the request of their wives.
Yes.
I bet it makes bathroom much cleaning, and then it makes the bathroom cleaning is a little bit less daunting and disgusting. And let's move on to another island, another country, Asia, Thailand. The Environmental Protection Agency there has been urging Taiwanese men to sit down while using public toilets.
Oh, so not only at home.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
outside.
Yeah, and furthermore, speaking of this kind of government initiatives, Sweden, they got tons of press. In the past decades, the government, local government, they were trying to pass a law banning men from standing while peeing.
I mean, you can't ban somebody from standing and peeing, really.
But, I can relate to the government of Sweden or the parties because I run my own clinic. So whenever I clean my public bathroom in my clinic, the dribblings of yellowy juices its odor is a little bit not that friendly. So that's why I think I'm trying to implement this law or get rid of this kind of a urinal.
Yeah, but the countries that you mentioned that recommend, advise, as well as even try to ban urinating, standing up for men anyway, I think their main point is because it's more sanitary that way.
맞아요.
It's better for your health too.
But
맞아요.
that's why I want to get through Dr. Yu. From as a doctor, I'm sure because you talked about health benefits of urinating sitting down. So let's see on the health side of that, not just countries banning it because it's cleaner that way.
맞아요. 첫 번째는 방금 우리 닥터 신께서 얘기해 주셨듯이 바스룸을 클린하게 해줍니다. 왜냐면은 maybe I'm sure some of our listeners, male listeners, might have experienced this when you urinate standing. You might aim at a wrong direction, and it might sprinkle backwards, and then your pants might get stained by the yellowish juice.
Every morning.
Every morning.
Yeah.
And so that's that's the one reason why the sitting, peeing, urinating, sitting down is really good for our hygiene. And this benefit is it can make us relax more than while we are standing.
Okay.
See, here's the thing though. See, if you're sitting down to pee, you're going to spend way more time than you would if you were standing up. Because you're going to sit down, you're going to relax, you're going to put the heat on the toilet, you're going to look at your phone, and so it's going to take a long time.
내가 이거 맨날 얘기했거든요. 여러분 치매 안 걸리려면요 정말 여러분 앉아서 싸야 돼요. 미안해. If you don't want to get demented, if you want to have a very healthy life in your later life, you gotta urinate while sitting down because If I'm peeing standing up and then in a public toilet, a lot of queues behind me and a lot of people are looking at me, so I can feel the pressure. The pressure makes me kind of squeeze my bladder a little bit more harder. So it's bad for our bladder muscles. So it enhances. It's kind of accelerates the aging process of our bladder.
Interesting.
예, 그래서 이거 제가 학회에 갔었거든요. 유럴로지가 이제 비뇨기과 학회인데 비뇨기과 학회에 갔었는데 거기 교수님 어느 대학교인지는 말 안 하겠는데 부산에 있는 교수님이었어요.
네.
그 교수님이 하는 얘기가 이 방광도 여러분들 이제 소모품인데 there is no replacement because our body is just only one. We only live once. Well, our body is like that. So we have to save. We have to 정말 아껴 써야 돼요. 그래서 the more you squeeze your bladder or just trying to show off your the power of peeing, that's the worst way of ruining or spoiling or destroying your bladder. 그래서 그 교수님도 그래서 항상 자기도 앉아서 보고 편하게 본대요. 네, 그래서 그런 방광적인 면에서도 좋아요.
And this is something that I've experienced myself using public bathrooms, especially when it's crowded. Like when it's my turn, at the stall. Sometimes, because there's so many people, like I get nervous a little bit, and it doesn't come out as comfortably as I want.
Is this just a something for people who have,
some kind of a social anxiety or specific anxiety disorder?
but just men.
Just men.
What about women?
woman도 그럴 수 있는데 좀 그렇지만 뻘락 있잖아요. They're in a stall.
We're always in a stall. So
Yeah.
like in terms of like holding it or squeezing it, does that still apply to us as well?
I've never. I'm not sure about that. 이거는 잘
But
모르겠어요.
specifically about like male health
Male health.
today. Okay.
예,
good,
남자한테는
good. Okay.
좋대요. 예.
Just checking.
예.
Yeah, because Haeyeon's wondering on our YouTube, is holding onto your pee harmful for your body, especially for women?
아 맞아요. 그거는 좋지 않아요.
I think
왜냐면
it's the same for both men and women, right?
근데 여자들 같은 경우는 더 안 좋을 수 있어요. Because their female reproductive organ system, they have a shorter urethra, so that's why their germs are likely to invade into their bladder. So that's why they have a cystitis. Cystitis은 방광염 같은 게 걸릴 수 있기 때문에
네.
여자들은 홀드하는 게 좋지는 않다고 얘기를 합니다. 하지만 케겔 exercise라 그러나요? 이렇게 clenching the lower part of your bottom is really good for your 언제 그 방광 시스템이라든지 여러분들 방광이나 아니면 이런데 되게 좋죠. 바닥 운동.
I teach that in my prenatal yoga class, and actually I teach it just in general in a yoga class. And it's called the Mula Bandha. And what you do is when you clench that and you squeeze it, you imagine it going all the way up to your belly button, and you can do like different things with your core, and you can have a different, stronger stretch. But it's can I tell you how to do it? So imagine that you're trying to pick up a tissue with your butt cheeks.
Oh, I could totally do that.
So squeeze it in, and then you're trying to pull it all the way up to your belly button. Pull the tissue all the way up.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good example.
It's like a crane
It's
kind
like
of coming
a crane,
down.
and it's you're
and just
grabbing
picks
it.
up.
Imagine you're sitting on a tissue and you're picking it up with your butt cheeks. Or if you're a lady,
That's
with
very
your,
creative. Anyhow, I was talking about the prevention of dementia.
yeah.
Yes, because 여러분 치매에 걸리지 않으려면요. I think I talked about this one earlier in this show. We call it neuroaerobic.
Yeah.
Because one of the best ways to enhance our brain function is just whenever you have a nature's call. Nature's calling은 정말 큰 걸 하고 싶을 때 just put down your cellular phone and then go to your bathroom and then sit down on the toilet and then close your eyes and then you can feel the hedonic pleasure. It's like a very cathartic pleasure that enhances our boosting our brain power. 히더니즘이 이제 쾌락인데 이 배변의 쾌감이 이걸 느끼는 것이 정말 우리 뇌 건강에도 좋고 스트레스도 릴리브할 수가 있겠고 또 이 직장에서 일하다가 막 급한데 막 화장실 가서 서서 보면은 여러분들 그게 진짜 휴식이 아니거든요. 근데 딱 앉아서 잠깐의 이제 휴식을 하게 되면은 그 짧은 그 휴식이 여러분의 마음과 스트레스를 낮춰주기 때문에 이거는 it's good for our cardiovascular system and other autonomic nervous system. So I highly recommend you to be sitting down.
You never think of urinating sitting down as like a sort of therapy
As a health
well.
benefit.
맞아요.
Yeah.
이게 멘탈리도 되고 또 하나 있어요. 이게요. 블레드 방광에도 좋다 그랬잖아요.
네.
또 하나는 이제 남성 그 전립선에도 좋아요.
전립선.
예.
I don't know what that means.
네.
prostate.
okay.
prostate. 그게 왜 그러냐면은 그 앉아서 대변을 보게 되면은 anatomically is the really a proper position for us to evacuate our bladder. So you can experience the last drip of your yellowish juice. So you can completely evacuate your bladder more than while standing.
Then if you're standing.
Yeah, that's right.
That makes sense.
예,
Because
그래서-
you're taking the pressure off of that part of the body and you're allowing it to relax completely.
맞아요. 서서 하게 되면은 백 머슬도 써야지 되겠고 그다음에 골반에 있는 근육도 써야지 되거든요. 근데 이렇게 되면은 엄청난 스트레스가 될 수가 있고 또 여러분들 나이가 들게 되면은 서 있는 것도 힘들 수가 있는데 어르신들 그럴 때 오래 서 있게 되면 그것 자체가 스트레스가 돼가지고 소변을 시원하게 못 보거든요. 예, 그러면은 여러 가지 증상들을 많이 일으키죠. 결국은 시원하게 못 보니까 쾌감도 못 느끼겠고 또 스트레스도 받고 오줌 싸는데 불안감도 생기고 그럴 수가 있어요.
And then see the whole process of that as well. We talked about that before, didn't we? It's connected to the vagus nerve.
맞아요.
And so that is like it's built in to be a relaxing movement. It's built into the body, to the system, to be a relaxing part of the day.
Yeah, 그렇죠. 근데 speaking of vagus nerve, in this case, bladder function is really complicated. It's a sympathetic function and parasympathetic function. They work in harmony.
Yeah.
그래서 이거 좀 어려웠거든요. 여하간 긴장하게 되면 화장실 자주 가고 싶게 되겠고 또 가도 막 잘 안 나오는 경우가 있잖아요.
네.
결국은 여러분 I always say poop well, eat well, sleep well is best way to enjoy our lives and also one of the best ways to prevent our from getting other dementias or some other cancer disease and autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease. 중요해요.
Question then.
Yes.
If we are sitting down, urinate, is there a proper posture when sitting down?
Oh, sitting down.
Because like I've come across articles of people saying not only here in Korea but like China, where they had the old-fashioned toilets that's in the
Squatty
ground,
potty.
the squatty potties. But I heard that's anatomically it's supposed to be
That's the best way to do it.
맞아요.
a better way to do it.
맞아요, 중요해요.
So when we're urinating, is that like the same concept, or does it not matter at all?
When it comes to defecation is a medical term for pooping, but it's better for us to squatting down whenever we have bowel movements. But anatomically, urination is not completely true, but physiologically, it's better for us to bend or for us to squeeze or for us to squat down because it helps our abdominal pressure and it increases the pressure into our bladder. So we don't need let's say the energy we consume while standing it requires about 10% or 100% of energy. But when you squat down, it might require maybe 50% less energy effort. So that's why it prevents us from getting some degenerative process of a bladder, or it kind of lessens the burden on our bladder function. That's why it's the best way to save up some retarding the process of degeneration in our bladder and prostate as well. 그래서 아무튼 여러분 이렇게 쪼그리고 앉게 되면은 해부학적으로는 맞진 않지만 똥 쌀 때는 해발 때 해부학적으로 좋은데 소변 볼 때에는 앉게 되면은 쪼그라들게 되면은 배 압력이 쉽게 가해져가지고 오줌을 쉽게 잘 쌀 수가 있고 끝까지 쌀 수가 있으니까 밤에 자기 전에 그렇게 싸게 되면 밤에 깨는 것도 없어져서 잠도 잘 자고 그리고 이제 여러분들 휴식도 되니까 정신적으로도 득함 당할 수 있으니까 좋은 것 같아요. 그걸 저도 몰랐는데 여러 가지 사이언티픽한 데이터도 있고요. 메타 아날리시스도 있고요. 여러 가지 한 데이터가 많은데 약간 I don't know when I started urinating sitting down, but it's really helpful. Yeah, I'm over 40 because I'm in the spot of getting prostate cancer or prostate-related problems. I was going to talk about prostate cancer. It's the fifth pretty common cancer in Korea.
Yeah.
A lot of people are getting it because as we get older, it's likely the chances are high increasing. So,
And here's the thing, men don't give themselves enough chances to get health checks. And I love in Korea that it's a mandatory thing, but a prostate exam for older men in Korea, is that mandatory or?
It's not mandatory, but there are a lot of various physical checkup programs. And ultrasound is a little bit less invasive, but if you want to make it really clear, you have to do rectal ultrasound.
Yeah.
It's not actually that painful. I had this done on my bottom maybe several months back. It came negative, thankfully, because I experienced some kind of urination problems. But after realizing that I didn't have any problems, my peeing habits has improved a lot. So it's mental.
Yeah. Right.
그리고 이거 정말 우리나라는 이게 시스템이 좋아서 헬스 체크업하기 좋으니까 여러분 don't be reluctant, don't hesitate. You gotta take advantage of this system. You gotta squeeze your doctor to come up with some solution or coming up with better solution for your health.
Yeah, we're squeezing a lot today.
We are squeezing a lot.
We're squeezing a lot today, right? Dr. Liu, before we finish off the segment, now, because we brought up the idea of actually, it's healthier for men to also sit down, right, to urinate. I don't know if there's any scientific fact, right, or research behind this. What about when it comes to wiping? Because I know wiping is sanitary.
You took it very...
No, because I've heard...
I mean, you mean wiping the front part or the hind part?
Well, because we're sticking to urination.
Okay. Well, not that I know
it's that it makes more sense. It's sanitary, right?
I think it's more sanitary because what would guys do? Just they shake they brush off the last drip of the urine, but. I don't know about this one, but it's always better to be safe than sorry.
Okay.
I think wiping is better.
I
think it's better.
If my son is listening, wiping is always better. Wipe. And then wash your hands.
Of course.
And then come out.
Right after. Right? Nice. We have Hyunnim saying, actually, every morning when I go number one, I marvel at the wonder of my 방광. I guess I'm a hedonist. Major hedonist. If you marvel, if it's 그 정도면요. Yeah. Do you sing songs? Right? Does like an angelic light come like behind you whenever you go number one?
It's a minor trivia thing because in our cells, in our bladder, it's a specific cells are composing our bladder, which is called transitional cell because all kinds of cells are mixed together. That's why bladder can expand maybe twice or third times or quadruple times larger than when it was before. So that's why we have a marvelous bladder. And uterus as well. And our bodies.
Amazing. So amazing.
Well, thank you for letting us know just how amazing our bodies are. Dr. Liu, thank you so much. That'll do it for today's 인싸의학. We'll see you back here next week, okay?
Bobby Brown.
Thank you, Bobby Brown. All right, let's have a song. This is, let me see, what do we got? We've got 1,000 Dreams of You by Tanguk Young.
Dreams of you. It's been
Together, yes, together. You thrilled me from the start. You brought the spring again. Your fingers touched the strings of my heart and made it sing again. I hope you dream 1,000 dreams of me. All things we've planned, doing together. And if you do, I'll dream my whole life through. 1,000, a million, a zillion dreams of you. I hope you dream 1,000 dreams of me. All things we planned, doing together. Well, we promised to do something together. And if you do, I dream my whole life through. 1,000, a million, a zillion dreams of you.
안녕하세요. 차가운 도시 남자 Inside Out Busan writer Steve라고 합니다. Winners of Inside Out Busan's listeners participation segment will get full course meal voucher from Golden Lizzie, a gourmet restaurant in Geojedong and Yeonsandong, where you can taste cuisine from Michelin Guide featured Chef Kim. 미슐랭 셰프의 파인 레스토랑 골든 리지에서 10만 원 외식 상품권을 받을 수 있습니다. A place to entertain your brain and eyes, Museum of Illusions. 당신의 눈과 뇌를 즐겁게 하는 곳. Museum of Illusion 부산 착시미술관 입장권. Coffee voucher and a pack of fresh coffee, whole beans, sponsored by Into Roastery in Yangsan. 언제나 맛있는 커피를 신선하게 만드는 양산에 위치한 Into Roastery 원두 커피. 커피 향 좋다. A delicious brunch for two from Gorilla Brewing Busan. Gwangan branch, the leader of Korean handmade beer culture. 수제 맥주 전문점 고릴라 브루잉 부산에서 제공하는 식사권. Admission tickets for the Busan Next the Sky top floor observatory, which is located at LCT in Haeundae, the highest place in Busan. 부산 대표 랜드마크 해운대 LCT에 위치한 하늘 위의 바다. 부산 Next the Sky 전망대 입장권을 선물로 드립니다. 저랑 같이 가실까요?
Time for 호기심 천국.
호기심 천국 시간입니다.
네, which means we're gonna hogi some shims.
Yes.
Or shim some hogis.
Right.
Whatever you like.
Try to make you curious about the things we're curious about.
Yeah.
Right. My turn today.
Yeah.
Laura, what is one of the most basic forms of, let's say, between two people, how they come to a decision?
가위바위보.
가위바위보, exactly. Right. Where did 가위바위보 come from anyway? Where did rock, paper, scissors come from? Let's take a listen.
Hand-based games have been around seemingly as long as humans have been humaning. As to the exact genesis of rock, paper, scissors, however, this appears to originate in hand games from China, supposedly going back around 2,000 years, though primary documented evidence of this is scant. That said, things get a lot more clear around the 17th century, which saw some of these games migrating from China to Japan. Indeed, at this point, there are explicit references to them in surviving texts. One of those games, in turn, spread from Japan throughout the world in surprisingly recent times, and that game is, of course, rock, paper, scissors. As noted in the early going, there were a myriad of these hand games using a series of hand gestures, sometimes even using various charms. As for the many three-hand gesture variants, these are called the sansumiken. An example of one variant of this, we have the Japanese mushiken, which instead of using rock, paper, and scissors, used hand gestures representing a frog, a slug, and a snake. The specific gestures were the thumb as the frog, which defeats the slug. The slug is represented by the pinky finger and defeats the snake. The snake is represented by the index finger and defeats the frog. If you're now wondering how a snake is beaten by a slug in the Japanese version, it's hypothesized that when the Japanese adopted the game from the Chinese, they simply misinterpreted the character for a certain poisonous centipede used in the Chinese version, with that then representing the slug in Japan. As for the direct ancestor to rock, paper, scissors, that is the game of janken, which has been played in Japan going back to around the 17th century and uses the rock, paper, or cloth and scissors trio of hand gestures that we're all familiar with. Interestingly, up until relatively recently, these games were primarily used as drinking games, particularly extremely popular at Chinese and Japanese brothels. Beyond being used for getting tipsy, they were also used in...
I feel like that's a voice we've both done in the previous IOB Open Sangche. Getting
Right?
you to know.
Today, I found out that's the YouTube channel where I got this from, right? That was the brief history of rock, paper, scissors. Started in China. That's where usually, sometimes a lot of stuff comes from anyway, right?
Yeah.
All the way back during the Han Dynasty. And then from there, it went over to Japan. Right, and that's from the Japan is like the more modern version of where our rock, paper, scissors comes from. Right, in China they first used like animals, right, and then in Japan they used to like hand gestures for certain animals, and then it came to rock, paper, scissors. Okay, how when do you find yourself, whether it be with your family, friends, when do you find yourself partaking in the game of rock, paper, scissors?
I never play it.
Really?
Yeah, it's too stressful.
Why?
It's too stressful. I don't like the sudden unpredictableness of it.
Really?
Yeah, don't like it. I really don't like, which is very strange, right? But I do not like the game rock, paper, scissors. And we have it in Scotland, and we would play like just for fun sometimes back in the day. We don't really. I mean, we have it in Scotland, we play it, but it's not like it's here in Korea. So whenever I do rock, paper, scissors, it'll be for when I want someone else to decide something. If I have to decide with rock, paper, scissors, I get really stressed.
Like, what if, okay, Laura, if you win, it's this, and if I win, it's that?
Too stressful.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though I 정해, I decide what you're going to represent if you win.
Yeah, it's too stressful. Like the whole guy Bible, like the whole thing is too stressful. It's like, I don't like it.
I mean,
it's not that I don't do it, but I would never really do it for fun. But I remember my husband said to me, he's like, he said, what was it? Like, I asked him, why do we need to do rock, paper, scissors for this? He's like, because we need to decide something. I was like, can we not just decide or something like that? But I was like, yeah, we don't really do rock, paper, scissors in Scotland. He's like, how do you make decisions then? It's like,
exactly.
We decide on it. We just use our words.
That's why I asked you this question, because, me growing up, like in California and even here in Korea, a lot of not important decisions, all right? Not important decisions, of course, like, when it comes to like family and finances or like where you're, like what house you're going to buy or anything. But when it comes to like, just simple, just menial stuff like throughout the day, and let's say it's usually about something that maybe both parties, maybe 2 people or 3 people, like don't want to do. That's why they rock, paper, scissors out for the one loser has to partake in that little thing that usually people find discomfort in doing. Let's say taking out the trash, right? So for me, me and my wife, in the beginning, because we want everything to be, we want both of us to be able to do just all things around the house. So we didn't really like have like a set schedule of like, okay, you do this and I will do this, right? We didn't, half it directly down the line. So what we do is just, all right, after dinner, who's going to do it? Who did the dishes, or who's going to take out the trash, right? 분리수거, rock, paper, scissors. It got to a point where we just did a couple of days of rock, paper, scissors. And then after that, I just naturally kept losing when it came to laundry and the dishes and the vacuum. And I've been doing it ever since, right? So
Good.
in that sense, rock, paper, scissors does kind of, set the wheels in motion when it comes to, decisions that need to be made that will, I guess, continue on without the need for rock, paper, scissors later on down the line. Okay? So I guess it's the stress, like, is it the stress of losing?
It's not
for you?
No, I don't mind losing. So, for example, if we were to say, let's toss a coin, I would quite happily accept the results if I lost.
Okay.
It's about the pressure of having to immediately on the spot make that decision with my hands, and my hands don't, my brain doesn't connect to my hands properly. So my son is really good at 묵찌빠 or whatever. I have no idea what that is.
Oh, okay. 묵찌빠 kind of stresses me out sometimes.
And also it's like 가위바위보 하나 빼기, and then you have to like 하나 빼기 and you have to take one away. So it's so stressful for me that every single time I do that 가위바위보, you have to do it differently, right? I always do rock, double rock. My brain just doesn't work.
Oh,
and I'm
it's like
just
too much thinking. 너무 생각을 많이 해야 돼, right?
가위바위보.
In that sense,
And
I
if
do
you
understand
it's the same.
why it's stressful, right?
It's so stressful. It's too much like instant thinking. I don't
하나
like it.
빼기는요, there's too much hand coordination involved in that. That's why I struggle with this sometimes too, even today, right? 묵찌빠는 just that the stress that you feel when it comes to just 가위바위보.
I don't even know what it is.
It adds that stress for me when it's what is it? 묵찌빠. 네, 묵찌빠였으면. Now, so for listeners out there, real quick, if you have a hard time winning when it comes to rock, paper, scissors, actually scientists have found a way to have more chance on your side to win.
Make up some new stuff.
Well, they did actually, a number of 가위바위보s, rock, paper, scissors on this. And the scientists say the best way to win at rock, paper, scissors is if you lose the first round, switch to the thing that beats the thing your opponent just played.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the next round, if you win, don't keep playing the same thing, but instead try to always switch to the thing that
your
beats
opponent is,
your
yeah.
opponent in the previous 묵찌빠.
See, this is
or
how
the
I can
가위바위보.
win against my son. Not anymore, but when he was like 5, I could smash that kid at 가위바위보.
Oh, my daughter these days, when she wants to duke it out with 가위바위보,
Yeah. 무섭지.
my daughter has tails.
Yeah.
Okay. She has tails, and she doesn't know I know this. But she kind of gets ready her hand what she's gonna put out.
That's what I do.
So if she's gonna do 묵, she already has her thumb inside her fist.
아빠.
If she's gonna do
커닝하지 마.
If she's gonna do 찌, the scissor, she already has her 2 fingers sticking out, right? And if she's gonna do 빠,
하루야.
it's just a simple fist because all she gotta do is open it, right? So, I know you. I know you.
So sneaky.
You can never beat 아빠
So
in
sneaky.
가위바위보, right?
Not yet.
Not
she's
yet,
got time.
anyways.
Give her time.
She'll catch on eventually, right?
It's time for us to say goodbye, sadly, but thank you for that hokisim.
Of course.
Very interesting.
You're welcome.
Today's gift receiver is Wheeler Karma Neem.
Congratulations.
Final song today is What About Us by Pink. Today's show produced by Cho Yoon-jin, written by Im Soo-jin, hosted by Laura McCluskey.
And hosted by Min Soo-shin. Everybody, have a good night.
Night-night.
We are rockets pointed up at the stars. We are billions of beautiful hearts. And you sold us down the river too far. What about us? What about all the times you said you had the answers? What about us? What about all the broken happy ever afters? What about us? What about all the plans that ended in disaster? our problems that want to be solved. We are children that need to be loved. We were willing, we came when you called. But man, you fooled us. Enough is enough. Oh, what about us? What about all the times you said you had the answer? What about us? What about all the broken happy ever after? Oh, what about us? What about all the plans that ended in disaster? Oh, what about love? What about trust?
부산을 한 장의 사진에 담는다면 어디로 가야 할까요? 꼬꼬마 시절 이때만큼은 세상을 내려다